Playboi Carti is a hip-hop artist from Atlanta, Georgia, and has created a ton of hype around his label, Opium. Opium is Playboi Carti's label, which is a division under Interscope Records. Carti founded the label in 2019, ahead of his highly anticipated album, Whole Lotta Red. Playboi Carti created this label before his release of Whole Lotta Red, and looking back, that was probably a really great business move. Playboi Carti has always been an artist who tries to be the most different from everyone else, while also what a lot of people think is the living embodiment of someone who is just cool. Playboi Carti would release his album Whole Lotta Red on December 25th, 2020, and though at first it did not receive the love it gets now, a lot of fans were still listening to the album when it first came out, and even after every listen, you'd be able to pick up on one more thing Carti was doing throughout the track list that was a little different. Then after a few months, the narrative was starting to change. Concerts were opening back up in the summer of 2021, and Playboi Carti would finally be able to perform his new album, Whole Lotta Red. One performance I will never forget was Lollapalooza 2021. It may have been his first or second time ever performing Whole Lotta Red, and they had scheduled his performance before Miley Cyrus. There were a lot of people online talking about how all the Miley Cyrus fans that probably got there to wait and see her had to get through Playboi Carti's set first, which was obviously insane. There are so many funny videos of people in the front just being very visibly upset. You may be wondering what all of that has to do with the label though, and I think the success of Whole Lotta Red has a ton to do with his label. With how Carti changed up his sound, made the underground start to sound a lot more like Playboi Carti influenced. You would have guys like Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, and Homicide Gang that have a very video game sounding beat with hard-hitting bass. Without Playboi Carti releasing Whole Lotta Red, who knows if we would ever have the Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, etc. we do today. Playboi Carti seem to have taken a similar style of label management as Young Thug. They tend to sign artists that have similar sounds to them. With both Young Thug and Playboi Carti, they are so different with the way they make music, it only makes sense that the other people that are making music similar to the caliber that they make, they would sign them, then help them really blow up with the help of a co-sign from the artist. Playboi Carti has already done a great job of doing that with his first artist, Ken Carson. Ken Carson's first project under Opium was Project X, and although still being underground, Project X had a lot of what Playboi Carti did with Whole Lotta Red. Ken Carson took what he had with Playboi Carti and put his own little twist on it. Project X did not overstay its welcome, only being 11 songs, and many fans at the time were very happy with what they got from Ken, and couldn't wait to see what a full-length studio album would sound like. Just over a year later, Ken Carson released his first studio album, X, with Playboi Carti as an executive producer. X had some mixed reviews because a lot of fans thought Ken was going to further his sound a bit more than he did, especially with Playboi Carti executive producing the album. Many fans were disappointed, however, they did expect a bit more from Ken than they got, although Ken Carson did just release his deluxe version of X, and the reaction online seemed really positive to the new songs, and Ken did switch up his cadences a little bit to make him sound a little more darker and more mature. The second artist signed to Opium is Destroy Lonely. Unless you followed Destroy Lonely very close before he signed, you probably weren't too familiar with him or his music at all. Destroy Lonely is the son of I-20, the early 2000s hip-hop rapper. So it's no surprise he was able to have some close connections with the industry. I'm not taking anything away from Destroy Lonely for being the son of a rapper, however, it definitely helped his career get a massive jump start. With that being said, Destroy Lonely had his first official release under Opium in April 2022, with that being his single 20 Years Old. Later in August, Destroy Lonely released his debut album, No Stylist. Many fans of Opium and Destroy Lonely were very surprised and loved his debut album. His song off No Stylist, called No Stylist, is making a lot of noise on TikTok right now and could really blow up. Destroy Lonely very recently released his deluxe version of No Stylist with a few new songs. The last artist on the Opium label is Homicide Gang. Although they haven't been signed to Opium for very long, they have already released their first studio album under Opium, that project being Homicide Life. This project just came out, so I don't have much of an opinion on it yet, but I will say the beats are hard-hitting and the flows are not that bad. Playboi Carti has created one of the most hyped and unique labels out right now in such a short time. He has taken the sound he created and ran with it, signed artists who he thinks have the same potential as himself, and if not more. He's making even more bread off it as well. I'm really excited for the new Playboi Carti music, of course, but I'm also just as excited to see what his artists release. Not a lot of hip-hop artists can create a music label this successful in such a short time. We've seen many artists try to sign artists and blow them up, but it just hasn't worked like they planned. But Playboi Carti has done exactly what he thought it would. Thanks for watching.